Alright guys, so we rounded it off with our taper bit as much as we wanted to get, or I wanted to get. So now we're going to do the old file rasp. Now this guy, again, is a Kutzall product, and well, it's great. It takes off just enough and it flattens what you want. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just basically trying to round my snake off a bit better and keep it even. What I'll do is I'll get in there, and even with the round spot I can get into the corners. What we're going to do is we're going to try to work on getting it more rounded, so it looks like the snake is actually wrapped on the stick. These are great tools. I've had the old style rasps and all that, and nothing wrong with them, just I find that they leave a lot of markings. These are diamond coated, so you can see that. I've showed these in the other videos, and they work really good. They're a little pricey, but you know, go to the Kutzall site and put in my code RV Woodcrafts, and you'll save a couple bucks, I guess. Nothing wrong with that. So this is what we're gonna do for a little bit, is just round this guy off, and even in the inside I use it for the stick itself. You know, there's some spots that are a little bit harder to get, but it works. It works really well. Where I can round it off. And this way I can keep the shape of where I went too thin. Like I said here, I'm going to try to just build it or take it down a bit with the rasp, and then let it flow all the way around so the snake looks round. Like I said, I say round a lot, don't I? So that's fine. Let's just keep on working at it. And this takes patience. It's not for everybody. If you're a wood carver, woodworker, power carver, a lot to do when you're trying to make your items. So it just takes patience, and you'll get there. I always said there's really no such thing as a bad piece of art. I mean, I've seen some stuff out there that's just like whacked, but it's still great. My stuff isn't the best, but I love it. This is my way of keeping myself busy. Great opportunity to make a couple of dollars and show off what you can do. You know, you get a lot of people that go, I can't do that. Well, bullshit, you can. Anybody can do it. It's the tooling. Getting the tooling is the most expensive part of doing any kind of craft. I don't know, it's painting or tooling like this. It is expensive, yeah. But you know what? Very satisfying. I think so. You just gotta keep on going at it. Never give up. So, and you can see a lot, like the tooling itself. I don't know if you can see that well, but a lot of the tooling itself makes marks. So that's where these guys come in. And they allow you, instead of sitting there with sandpaper and trying to get at it, the rasp is always good. The file, the rasp, whatever you want to call it. I guess rasp is more of a, it's a harder tool. Like, if I'm talking rasp, what I consider being a rasp is this, where it's very sharp, very pointed out. Now that will take a lot of wood out when you're filing it, where this is just more of a filing system, and it'll make things smoother, but it'll also take out a good chunk of wood itself. I don't know, this is woodworking, so I mean nothing's perfect unless you're a professional expert level, you know, then you're striving for greatness, then yeah, you go nuts. I'm going for, I guess you could say, realism, maybe, you know, just out of the ordinary. Like, I think one of the biggest things is when you're making a walking stick that's different like this, it's not just a piece of wood people are walking outside, you know, taking it out of the bush and saying, oh, I'll walk with it. This is something you want to take care of when it's there. And then when I say take care of, you're not just going to throw it against the wall or in the closet or something. You know, I have customers that they'll put this over their mantle. They'll hang it on their mantle for when they're running, going to go for a walk. You know, they really, they paid for it, so they're enjoying it, right? And again, like I said, it's different. It's not your everyday sticks. I took the crafting trade off of, well, I started off like any, and I always give him a shout out, is Mike Stinnett. He basically, when I saw his stuff, I thought, wow, that guy's great, man. He's like way up there. And he is. His stuff is sought after and in demand. Not everybody can afford it, but you know what? If you can, you're damn lucky to have one. I'll tell you that, because they are beautiful. I haven't seen them in person, but there's enough images on, you know, you got your Facebook, your Instagram. He has his own patronage site. You know, so there's a lot of stuff out there to learn. And one day you will get good enough to do what they do, or you will get half-assed to do what I do. So yeah, great day for Father's Day, but it's kind of cloudy out here. There's a little bit of a drizzling going on. I think it's just a lazy day. I was going to plan on going metal detecting, because that's what I do as a hobby also. But I just don't like getting wet for no reason. This way I could do this for a while. My wife's at the cabin. She's enjoying herself, her time off too. I said I brought her there so she could relax. I got, you know, we got 3 kids in the house. One of us has to sacrifice coming back home, and that'd be me, which is fine. I have no issues with that. She's out there with the cat. Love that cat. So once we get this shaped out, like what I'm doing, once we get this shaped out and smooth, we will start on the process of the scales. Can't talk today. And then we'll go into, we'll burn it. So we'll manually burn it with a propane torch. And then we get into the coloring, which we'll paint. We have an airbrush, so we will definitely get into that. Going to do some a lot more research on the coral snakes for colors. There's a venomous type of coral snake, I guess, and there's your normal one. There's a rhyme to it. Black and white touches yellow, or something. If you know it, let me know. But anyway, we're gonna go with the venomous color because I like dangerous stuff. We're gonna put that on there. We're gonna do research on the tip of the scaling. Right now I just have the tips that are made for, say, like the vipers, where your cobras or rattlesnakes. I have that. So we may have to make one that's just a flat where we could punch. I don't have any flat ones from Razor Tip, so we'll be doing our own. That'll be included in one of the videos. I'll show you guys how I make them. And again, it's the same thing. You could either make your own, or you can send me a message and we'll talk about how much I charge for them, they're roughly about anywhere from 20 bucks to 30 bucks. I mean, it's just there's tooling involved. I use punch bits, then I have to grind them out to the right touch and all that, and then just try to make them look pretty for people. Again, like I said, the tooling is the most expensive part of anything, but it keeps me going for my hobby, and it'll keep you going on yours. So yeah. The one thing I've noticed with any kind of wood like this is part of a birch tree. It's fairly light, so when you're making your walking sticks, you got to make sure that you're doing the diameter for the back to put the cap on, whatever you're using it. This is a bit thick still, so we'll be bringing this down. I fortunately don't have a cap available to put on it, so I'm going to have to take one from the other ones, just so I could work on it. What you do for carving on the wood itself is up to you if you want to make designs down here. Sometimes I do, because it's hard to get all the markings off. I mean, you'd be there for hours and hours and hours, and I guess that's what I'll do anyway on this one. But to sand them all clear and straight, so sometimes I'll just carve in some lines. So it just makes it look like the branch is natural. And then again, once that's all done, the painting and everything, then we go on to the epoxy. And I epoxy, again, you know my videos, I show them all the time, I epoxy all my products now. Why do I do that? Again, it's just more of it stays, it gives it that longer lasting. I do believe that it stops cracking of any kind of wood because it seals it. It's not guaranteed, but I believe it does it in the face. So, I mean, some people won't use it on anything because, you know, they don't want to give out that false information, we'll say, of the epoxy will stop anything from cracking. Well, let me just say, with my opinion, is I haven't seen it crack yet. It's held up outside. I have an owl outside in the front that's been there for 3 years. The cracks are there, they stopped. Now, they may end up cracking one day because it's not going to last forever. Just gives it a little bit of longevity. Is that a word? I think so. So, anyway. Otherwise, this is they're all boring stages to watch, so we'll fast forward a lot of it anyway. Now again, I don't go out and show the whole process of making my walking sticks. It's kind of hard to do because it's noisy, the videos are long, you know, I don't want to sit there and bore the shit out of everybody all day about what I do. There are people out there that do make videos for stuff that, like this. There's, like I said, Patreon has Mike on there that you can get yourself on, and you can watch his. He'll teach you somewhat step by step. I guess I'm not on it, so I'm not sure. I mean, hell, if you're in Winnipeg and you want to take a class on this, you can come and see me, and I'll show you how I do my stuff in person.